Why do you fall for the wrong person over and over again? Think about it. You probably have a type. Maybe you didn't even choose it on purpose. It just happened. So here's a weird question. What if your type isn't really about looks at all? What if your brain is running a background program right now, scoring every person you meet, and you have no idea it's even happening? Stick with me. By the end of this, you're going to understand why you swipe the way you swipe, why some people seem to attract everyone in the room, and why chemistry might be the most misleading word in the English language. Let's talk about attraction. Here's why this actually matters to you. Attraction isn't just about dating. It decides who you trust at work, who you befriend, who you give a second chance to. It shapes job interviews, first impressions, even who gets picked for the team project in school. Your brain is making attraction calculations dozens of times a day, and most of them happen in less than a second. So let's slow that second down and look inside it. Round 1. The 3-second scan. When you see a new person, your brain doesn't wait for a conversation. It starts judging instantly. Symmetry, skin, posture, voice tone, even smell, believe it or not. But here's the twist. None of this is really about beauty. It's about information. Symmetrical features, for example, can hint at good health and strong genes. Confident posture can signal social status. Your brain isn't being shallow. It's doing detective work, trying to answer one ancient question. Is this person safe, healthy, and worth my time? You're not choosing a face. You're choosing a hypothesis about a future. Round 2. The mirror effect. Ever notice how couples sometimes start looking like they belong together, even if they're not related at all? Similar style, similar energy, sometimes even similar speech patterns? That's because familiarity is secretly one of the strongest attraction triggers there is. Our brains are wired to like things that feel known. It's called the mere exposure effect. The more we see something, the safer it feels. That's part of why people often end up dating someone from their friend group, their gym, their workplace. Repeated exposure quietly builds comfort, and comfort can quietly turn into attraction. So that coworker you didn't think much of in month 1? By month 6, your brain has run hundreds of tiny familiarity calculations without telling you. Round 3. The mystery box. Now here's something that feels backwards. Total predictability can actually kill attraction. Psychologists talk about something called uncertainty attraction. When you're not 100% sure how someone feels about you, your brain stays engaged, almost like it's trying to solve a puzzle. This is why a SOSO text reply at the wrong time can drive you crazier than a clear, "I like you." Certainty calms the brain down. Uncertainty keeps it checking your phone every 5 minutes. This single principle quietly explains half of modern dating app behavior. More on that in a second. Let's go back in time for a moment, because none of this came from nowhere. Evolution built this system, and it built it for survival, not for swiping. Way back, choosing a partner wasn't just about romance. It was about whether your offspring would survive. So your ancestors' brains evolved to notice clues: strength, resourcefulness, health, kindness, reliability. People who were good at reading these signals tended to pass on those instincts to us. That's why certain features feel attractive across so many cultures. Clear skin, energy, confidence. These aren't random preferences. They're ancient shortcuts your brain inherited. But evolution didn't stop with looks. It also wired us for emotional bonding, because raising kids took teamwork. So your brain rewards closeness, trust, and shared laughter with literal feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. In other words, attraction isn't one system. It's at least two: a fast instinct system built for first impressions and a slower bonding system built for long-term connection. The catch? Those two systems don't always agree. Which brings us to today's world. Because modern life is running this ancient software on completely new hardware. Dating apps are the clearest example. You're handed a fast visual decision, swipe left or right, which mostly activates that quick instinct system. But long-term compatibility actually depends more on the slow bonding system, the one built through real conversation, shared experiences, and time. That mismatch is part of why so many people say dating apps feel exhausting. You're using a tool built for split-second judgments to try to find something that actually needs weeks or months to reveal itself. Social media adds another twist. Constant comparison rewires your sense of what normal attractiveness even looks like, often inflating standards in ways that don't match real life at all. Even workplaces play into this. Confidence and warmth, the same traits your ancient brain associates with a good partner, also influence who gets promoted, who gets believed, who gets the benefit of the doubt. This stuff is everywhere once you start noticing it. Okay, time for the twist, the part that surprises almost everyone. We love to say opposites attract. It's in movies, songs, advice columns. But research keeps pointing somewhere else. Similarity is usually the stronger predictor of long-term attraction. Similar values, similar humor, similar life goals. Not identical personalities, but aligned direction. Here's the misconception lurking underneath that idea. We often think attraction is something that happens to us, like weather, like it just descends and you're powerless. But a huge part of attraction is something you build. Through attention, through familiarity, through consistency, through the small, repeated signals you send that say, I see you, and I show up. That spark people chase? It's real, but it's often the result of compatibility and effort, not the cause of it. So here's what you can actually do with all this. First, don't fully trust the 3-second scan. It's useful for noticing energy and confidence, but it's terrible at predicting long-term happiness. Give people more than one interaction before deciding there's no spark. Second, build familiarity on purpose. Shared experiences, inside jokes, repeated low-pressure time together. These aren't boring. They're literally how real attraction grows. Third, watch out for uncertainty addiction. If someone keeps you hooked through mixed signals instead of warmth and clarity, that's not chemistry. That's your brain chasing a puzzle, not a person. And fourth, remember that you are also being scanned, the same way you scan others. Confidence, warmth, and authenticity speak louder than chasing whatever you think is the ideal look. So let's bring this all together. Attraction isn't magic. It's a layered system. Instinct meets familiarity, uncertainty meets connection, ancient wiring meets modern tools. Your brain is running calculations you never signed up for, using rules written long before dating apps, before social media, even before language. But here's the most interesting part. Once you understand the system, you stop being just a passenger inside it. You start noticing your own patterns. You start choosing instead of just reacting. And maybe that's the real twist. The most attractive thing you can do is finally understand why you're attracted to anything at all.